outside stocks today, plenty of pressure elsewhere. Crude oil has borne the brunt of selling, it seems, in this risk-off day. Scott Bauer is joining us, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, it's pretty incredible to see the way crude has really just kind of fallen apart the last, not just today, it's really been about 5 sessions since this whole thing began. What does it mean in the context of the overall market? Is this crude specific? Should we use it as sort of a guide for what happens here elsewhere?
A little bit of a guide, Oliver. We've talked about this continuously, and over the last months, maybe even the last few weeks, I've kind of talked about sell every rally here because of the demand side of the issue, which is really what's happening now. So it is coinciding with the market sell-off now because of concerns over, reopening and this, that, and the other. But the bottom line is it's no different now in the crude space, quite frankly, than we were 2 months ago, 4 months ago, almost 6 months ago now. I can't believe this whole thing's been going on for 6 months, where the concern is on the demand side. To me, there's no question about it.
So what's the point of these inventory reports then, Scott? I mean, draws, bigger than expected draws. Yeah. People are gobbling up the oil more than the analysts were looking for. I mean, that doesn't scream demand problem, does it?
No, it doesn't moving forward, but yet on the ground, it is a demand problem. Look at gasoline prices, the lowest that they were over Labor Day since 2004.
Okay.
Brent just dipped below 40. West Texas just settled the lowest it has since June. But the bottom line, it is a demand problem. People still aren't going back to work. They're not using, their cars going anywhere, except maybe now you get to go to the supermarket or you get to go to the local mall. Outside of that, that's really about it. So, in terms of the draws that we're seeing, that could also be because, the stockpiles aren't as big to begin with because of, some of the supply constraints that have been there. So it is a complete demand. I'm not going to say destruction, but it's a demand issue. Now, that being said, I do think we're coming to a very interesting area here in West Texas.
All right, so where is that? Do we need to get down to the June lows? I mean, that seems like it's kind of the only place that would be next past 36. That's like 34 and a half, 35. What do you think chart-wise in terms of entry points if you want to get long?
I agree with that. I think somewhere in that range is a good point to get long, only just to sell it as it approaches back 40 again. So I'm going to do it with options. I'm looking at crude option futures, and this is based off the October crude, which is trading, roughly 37-ish, let's call it 30, just below there. I'm looking to sell the week 3, the September week 3, 36-34 put spread for about 50 cents. It's a little less than I normally like to do, but I like that entry area there. And to only have this on for a couple more weeks, I think is well worth it.
All right, so you're looking here at a put spread. You're selling it to the downside. You're taking advantage of the vol. So even though you want this thing to move up, this is more a directional play that the selling is going to slow from here, not necessarily a hyper-optimistic view about crude, to your point earlier, that you still think this is a demand-tied issue.
No doubt about it. It is more of, there's some support here that I think that crude is really going to rally. It is, selling a put spread can be considered a bullish play, but like you said, I am not bullishly optimistic that we're rallying back anytime soon.
All right. Appreciate it, Scott. Nice thoughts on WTI. Looking for an entry point down around 35
Can I make one
bucks.
other point right now, just the overall market, Oliver?
Yeah, hit me.
Everybody to look at. Look what the VIX is doing right now. We have this massive, massive sell-off, and the VIX, which was much higher earlier today, almost just hit unchanged on the day. It's barely up right now. Something's going on again. I'm not going to say it's the flip side of what we saw last week with market rallying, VIX rallying as well. But, boy, there's some signals out there that maybe it's time to maybe start buying in some shorts here if you're short.
All right. I like it. Nice.
All right.
A little bonus thought from Mr. B. Thank you,
There we
Scott
go.
Bauer, Prosper Trading Academy.